जनरल रावत, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर स्पीकिंग टू नेटवर्क 18. हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत धन्यवाद. सिंस यू आर अ डाइड इन द वुल soldier before anything else, I know I can ask you the controversial question first. आपके क्रिटिक्स कहते हैं कि जनरल साहब हर चीज पे टिप्पणी करते हैं, एक आर्मी चीफ को पॉलिटिकल मामलों में नहीं बोलना चाहिए.
मैं मीडिया के जरिए जो अपने संदेश होते हैं वो अपने फौजियों को पहुंचाना चाहता हूं, और मैं जिस प्रकार की टिप्पणी करता हूं मेरी कोशिश यही रहती है कि किसी तरह की पॉलिटिकल कमेंट्री में से मैं दूर रहूं. तो मुझे तो नहीं लगता कि मैं कभी कोई पॉलिटिकल या स्टेटमेंट या कोई पॉलिटिकल कमेंट देता हूं, लेकिन कुछ लोग इसको पॉलिटिकल दिशा की ओर ले जाकर माहौल बिगाड़ने की कोशिश करते हैं. बट मेरा मैसेज सिर्फ मेरे जवानों की तरफ होता है.
A year ago, speaking at USI, in fact, exactly a year ago, speaking at USI, you had said very clearly, don't drag the army in politics, don't politicize the army. What did you mean by that, and what prompted that statement?
No, it was prompted because of the very fact that people said that statements that are being made by the army chief sometimes have political connotations. तो मैं वही कह रहा था कि don't drag the army into political thing. It happened with this statement which was made regarding the migration of people in our northeast. इसी के जरिए में आया था कि it's a political statement. I said don't look at it politically. I am just trying to say that to not to allow the nation to be polarized on various organizational or various cultural or other issues.
In this day and age where often political agendas are driven by jingoism, जहां पे अगर आप फौज से एक सवाल भी पूछ ले तो आपको एंटी नेशनल बोल दिया जाता है या देशद्रोही बोल दिया जाता है. Do you think an army can really be apolitical in this माहौल?
Our jawans have been told to stay away from politics. They stay away from politics, but yes, when they go home on leave or during other discussions, they do get involved in discussions at home. But that is their personal view. It is not because they have been politicized. No, I don't think we should look at it that way.
You come from Uttarakhand and people there have great regard for you. और कहते हैं कि जनरल खंडूरी हैं जो पौड़ी से एमपी हैं, और जनरल वीके सिंह जो हैं वो खैर उत्तराखंड के नहीं है, but he is one of your predecessors and he is into electoral politics. Have you ever thought of politics as a post-retirement plan?
I personally feel I'll be a big misfit in politics.
Why do you say that?
That's my personal view. You know that I don't think I will be. I'll fit into politics. I'll tell you, my father after retirement was also offered to join politics, and he stayed away from it. And when I look at him as to why he stayed away, and I think he led a very comfortable life. He did support various organizations from outside, but he did not join active politics.
आपको लगता है बहुत मुंहफट है इसलिए आप पॉलिटिक्स में फिट नहीं बैठेंगे?
That is one of the reasons which I didn't want to say, but you know, at times, whatever comes to my mind, I speak from my heart and I speak it out. And sometimes I think it may not suit very well in politics. But therefore I am saying, I don't think I am cut out for politics.
So we will not see General Bipin Rawat enter electoral politics?
No, you won't. I think I answered this question earlier also in Hindi and English.
चलिए हो गया फिर, फ्रेंच में ही बात करते हैं.
डाउट ना हो जाए किसी को.
अच्छा ठीक है. General Hooda, the man who led the surgical strikes, in a recent interview, he was speaking in Chandigarh actually, has said that the surgical strikes were politicized, they were overhyped as well. What's your view on it?
I think, you know, he was a commander who really planned and executed these strikes. So I would like to give credit to him and credit to his statement. But at the same time, I would say I think that was a personal statement made by him in his personal capacity during a lit fest. That is when he spoke in Chandigarh. What was the reason why he spoke for that? Only he will know. Let me tell you one thing. Surgical strikes are done by specially trained people. These people take a great risk. It is more difficult than a conventional operation. So I feel that if you are giving them some kind of a recognition without overhyping the whole issue, is not a bad idea.
Recognition is one thing, celebrating it is one thing, but politicizing it is completely different. After all, since 2016, every election that you see, you've had political leaders go up on stage and do a lot of chest thumping around the surgical strikes and asking for votes in the name of surgical strikes. That is what I was talking about, and I think that is what General Hooda was speaking about as well.
Not very many people have recognized these kind of actions by the security forces, and especially the para-SF or any other unit which has done it. People say that these operations were conducted earlier. Whoever did those operations have gone into oblivion. You don't even remember them. Some of them even died. Some of them have become unsung heroes. So do you think that is the way those people should meet their fate? or the people who have done these operations someday should be remembered, and their courage and valor must be recognized or not. I leave it to you.
General, you have a PhD in the Army's relationship with the media, and therefore I think you're the fit person to answer this question. Sometimes when you open your television set in the evening, does it worry you to see the sort of hyper-nationalistic discourse that the Army is sometimes dragged into?
Yes, I do feel that sometime, when tempers start rising, and when tempers start rising, people start talking of certain actions which could be irrational at times. But then, when the people look at that, people start believing what they see in the television media. It does change impressions of the normal people. So then, therefore, what happens, that fervor starts rising into the people. And you cannot have the government being pressurized by the people to take some action. Government has to take very rational decisions. It cannot be taken because some people have got agitated and they want government to take action. Sometimes this can happen. So I think this kind of agitational dynamics that happens in the media is best curbed and should not be allowed to happen.
The warmongering that sometimes happens in the
I didn't want to use the word warmongering. I said that agitational, kind of behavior in the media is best curbed, is better curbed.
What is a bigger threat, China or Pakistan, for the Indian Army?
Well, let me tell you one thing. There are no threats. I wouldn't say that China or Pakistan is a threat. China or Pakistan will become a threat for you if you become weak. So long as our army remains strong, this threat will not be there. But then what I am trying to say is, under no circumstances should our armed forces be allowed to weaken. The day you weaken the strength of your armed forces, the way you weaken the caliber of your armed forces, the way you weaken the kind of wherewithal that the armed forces require, these nations will become a threat.
But the weakening is happening. I ask you this question because there's a CAG report that says कि अगर जंग हो गई तो शायद 10 दिन तक का हमारे पास गोली बारूद नहीं है. There's also, the army themselves have admitted to the fact that 68 or 69% of the equipment that we have falls in the vintage category. तो क्या आप उसको weakening देखते हैं?
I think, this kind of recognition has dawned very well in the government. And if you look at what has happened over the last 2 to 3 years, progressively our modernization process has started.
लेकिन पैसा कहाँ है? बजट में तो पैसा ही नहीं दिया
नहीं,
गया.
पैसा आ रहा है. You see, I'll tell you what happens. The government is telling us, you keep signing the deals, you come forward with what you want, and we'll make the money available. So today what's happened is, let us say a deal has been signed for Rafale. You mean so the government not going to pay that money? If you are signing a deal for S-400, you mean the government money will not pay the money? This money will be made available by the government. So the government is saying, you keep coming forward, you don't look at what is available to you. You look at where you can sign the deals.
हमारे देश में जितने डिफेंस डील्स होते हैं, रफाल को ले लीजिए, everything tends to get mired in some controversy or the other. Do you think that harms the interest of the nation?
I think it does. I would say yes, it does. But let me tell you, if you look at our procurement procedures, they have been made cumbersome. In fact, we find it very cumbersome. But then when you look at it in hindsight, you say it has been made cumbersome to ensure that no mistakes are committed.
So the politicization is unnecessary, you are saying?
I think it should not be politicized.
Let's talk about Pakistan. There's a new Prime Minister and he's saying dosti karte hain, baat karte hain. Is there a problem in that? What is the Army's view and the Army Chief's view on that?
हमारा जो उनके साथ मुद्दा क्या है कि आप टेररिज्म को बढ़ावा मत दीजिए. If they can show us some action to say that we are not giving incentive to terrorism, I think then the process can continue. He's saying, move a step forward. You move a step forward first. Today, look what is happening today. They've got these terrorist leadership which is sitting in Pakistan. They openly make statements.
Against
US
India.
also says, yeah, they openly make statements against India. टुकड़े टुकड़े कर देंगे, we will do this, surgical strike क्या की आपने, हम दिखाएंगे. What are all these statements for? And then you say that we want to move forward. And so you have to look at what is happening inside your country. We all know that people say that the army owns the country. Now the army owns the country, then the army has to remain in power. Now to remain in power, they have to find an enemy, because no army can remain in power if it doesn't have an enemy. Then you will become a peaceful country, and you will follow the line of what happened in Switzerland and Sweden and those countries. Then you don't need armies, big armies. So to remain in place and remain in focus, you have to select an enemy. I think they have chosen a wrong enemy. They have chosen India as the enemy. अब ये फंस गए हैं।
If everyone says that the Pakistani army is the one that calls the shots और सारी गड़बड़ ये कराते हैं, why not speak to them? Civilian leadership पे भरोसा नहीं है, छोड़ दीजिए. Why not speak to the army?
We've said so. आप पहले बताइए ना, आप पहले कुछ करके दिखाइए ना आप. You every time you speak to the army, the Kashmir मुद्दा है, ये है मुद्दा. Can we stay away from this and say talk but without a मुद्दा? When I tell them that there are terrorists in your camp, you are sending terrorists. He says no, there are no terrorists. You see, they are inciting people in the Kashmir Valley, that and they say we are giving you political support. I mean, this is very clearly coming out that we are only giving political support to the Kashmiris. Well, we know there are terrorist camps there. They train the terrorists. We have evidence that they train the terrorists. Then those terrorists cross the border. That terrorist who has been trained by their establishment, who has been fed by their establishment, who has been armed by their establishment and has been told to infiltrate and given a target inside a country by their establishment. When he dies on the line of control, you don't even recognize him. He doesn't recognize that. You think they are going to recognize the sacrifice of the Kashmiris who are dying here? What are the Kashmiris talking about? They are being fooled.
जनरल बाजवा से आपकी कभी बातचीत होती है? What is your view on him?
I have no idea. No बातचीत.
No बातचीत with General Bajwa.
No, I follow him very well. I follow him in whatever he says. I keep taking a feedback on him. I follow where he goes. I know where he visits. All that I do follow him. And well, he is the chief of the Pakistan Army, so I have to follow him. But बातचीत नहीं होती है, because बातचीत करने के लिए कुछ माहौल में सुधार आए, कुछ some positives have to be seen within Pakistan.
कुछ लोग बड़े गुस्सा हो गए थे, नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू ने उनको जाके झप्पी कर दिया था. आप भी गुस्सा हुए?
मैं कभी गुस्सा नहीं होता.
Did it upset you that he went and hugged someone?
मैंने बोला, these things don't upset me. That's his personal thing. Why he did it. He may be the best judge. He may have thought this will lead to positives. Maybe that was in his mind. Maybe it was a misjudgment on his part or judgment, whatever way he thought. That is his call.
लेकिन बात का बतंगड़ जो मीडिया में बना, that was unnecessary, you think?
उस पर मैं कमेंट नहीं करूंगा. Because then I will say I am going into politics. See, if I comment on that, people say I am going into politics.
सवाल पूछते हैं, जवाब देते हैं, तो वो पॉलिटिकल बना देते हैं. कुछ सवाल कश्मीर पे हैं जनरल साहब. कश्मीर में 20 साल से फौज लगी हुई है. आप टेररिस्ट मारते हैं, इस साल 230 मारे हैं. हर टेररिस्ट के लिए 2 टेररिस्ट खड़े हो जाते हैं. 12-13 साल के लड़के पहले पत्थर उठाते हैं, फिर बंदूक उठा देते हैं. Has Kashmir become a zero-sum game for the Indian Army?
Not really. मैं ये क्यों कहता हूँ? See, terrorism में क्या है? If you look at the way terrorism has moved in the valley, it's like a sine wave. You see escalation, then the security forces take some action, bring the levels of terrorists down, terrorist numbers are brought down under control, leadership is eliminated, and then the demand comes to bring in peace, remove ASPA, remove the army. I feel that when peace comes, the administration should start functioning, but the army has to remain alert. Do not ever put a call to say the army should withdraw. Army has to continue dominating the areas, even in areas where there is no insurgency. Because if you don't do that, the terrorist tanzeems have always used that period to regroup, reorganize and restart that cycle of terrorism.
But कश्मीरी के मन में फौज के खिलाफ और भारत के खिलाफ गुस्सा तो है. The fact is that there is resentment, there is a sense of alienation as far as the army is concerned and the Indian state is concerned. After all, आपने ही जाके stone pelters को terrorist बोल दिया, वहाँ पे और गुस्सा हो गए लोग.
ये मैं बताऊँ, this is a false impression again being created more so by the media. हम जब कश्मीरी आवाम से मिलते हैं, अलग से जब मिलते हैं, whether we want the army here, वो क्यों सबके सामने बोलते हैं? Because today the valley people are under the fear of the terrorists. और ये मैं आपको कैसे कह सकता हूँ? आप देखिए, stone pelters. Not everybody is a willing stone pelter. They are being pushed into stone pelting for 2 reasons. पहले तो आप उसे पैसा दो, पैसा मिलता है. दूसरा, you are telling them, a message is spread around that अगर आप stone pelting में नहीं आओगे, तो night में gun toting people come to your home and say, why did you not come for stone pelting? So it is the fear through which this action is being propagated.
What about the sense of alienation?
We get a lot of Kashmiri youth who come to India because we try and show them the democratic, peaceful process that reigns in the rest of India. At the end, when we speak to these children, we ask them, कैसा लगा? जैसे यहाँ का तो माहौल बड़ा अच्छा है. तो मैं पूछता हूँ, फिर फर्क क्या है? फर्क ये है कि ना यहाँ पे देखिए, there is nobody, these army people are escorting us without a weapon. वहाँ तो ये लोग वेपन के साथ घूमते हैं, यहाँ वेपन नहीं है इनके पास. फिर वो बोलते हैं कि सर, हम आपसे जो बातचीत कर रहे हैं, इसको रिकॉर्ड मत करना और उसकी फोटो मत खींचना हमारी. क्यों? क्योंकि जब वो वापस जाएंगे the terrorists will come to their home and say, the army took you to see the peace that prevail in the country. ये हो नहीं सकता है. आपको वो माहौल बता रहे हैं भारतवर्ष का. भारतवर्ष में तो उनको बताया जा रहा है यही माहौल है जो कश्मीर में है. भारतवर्ष में तो पीपल आर एंटी इस्लामिक. भारतवर्ष में तो एनीबडी हु रेजेस his voice is suppressed. But when they come and see peace here, they say, my God, this is beautiful country. Why can't this be in our land? But the terrorists don't allow them to do. That is why they are hesitant taking photographs. It gives a very clear-cut feeling that they are under the fear of the gun. Otherwise, what is the harm in taking a photograph with us?
जब आपके ट्रूप्स आपसे बात करते हैं, आप तो बहुत जाते हैं कश्मीर और अपने ट्रूप से बात करते हैं, तो वो पत्थरबाजों के बारे में आपसे क्या कहते हैं? इज देयर अ सेंस ऑफ एंगर कि हम तो अपना काम करने गए हैं और ये देखिए हमें पत्थरों से काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी साइट्स पे आके टेररिस्ट को स्केप करा देते हैं? एंड व्हाट्स योर रिस्पांस टू दैट?
सी, उनको एंगर सिर्फ एक चीज पे आता है. वो कहते हैं कि जब हमारे ऊपर पत्थरबाज हमारे साथ एक्शन लेता है, वी आर इन अ डिलेमा एज टू हाउ शुड वी एक्ट विद अ पत्थरबाज. बिकॉज क्या हम भी पत्थर फेंकें? हम बोलते हैं नहीं, यू कैन नॉट थ्रो स्टोन्स. यू आर एन आर्मी. व्हेन यू हैव बीन कॉल्ड टू ब्रिंग इन लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, because the law and order cannot be controlled by the police and the central police agencies. That is why you have been called in. और आपको जब वहां भेजा गया है तो आपके पास सिर्फ हथियार है. तो जब हमारे पास पत्थरबाज पत्थर फेंकता है तो हमको तो हथियार इस्तेमाल करना पड़ता है, लेकिन झिझक होती है हथियार को यूज करने में, क्योंकि उसके बाद अगर कोई कैजुअलिटी हो जाता है तो हमसे सवाल पूछा जाता है कि वाई हैव यू यूज्ड मैक्सिमम फोर्स. आपका तो रूल्स ऑफ एंगेजमेंट बोलते हैं मिनिमम फोर्स. अब वो बोलते हैं पत्थरबाज के खिलाफ मिनिमम फोर्स सर हमें समझ नहीं आती. तो मैं तो उनसे बोलता हूं आपके पास हथियार है, आप हथियार इस्तेमाल करिए, लेकिन जहां तक हो सकता है उसको मारने के बजाय कोशिश ये करिए कि आप उसे इंजर करें. टुडे यू कैन सी पत्थर इज एज स्ट्रॉन्ग अ वेपन एज अ राइफल. टुडे पीपल आर डाइंग विद स्टोन पेल्टिंग. सिविलियंस हैव डाइड, आर जवान्स हैव डाइड, एंड येट द प्रॉब्लम इज यू हैव टू फेस कोर्ट्स एंड द कोर्ट्स टेल यू दैट you are supposed to use minimum force against a stone if you are using a rifle. I mean, then what else do you do? This is the dilemma that the soldiers are in. Therefore, I told my soldiers that a person who's disrupting your operations is very much part of the terrorist organization. Deal with them accordingly.
He is a terrorist too.
How do you define a terrorist? Terrorist will be defined as a person who is carrying a weapon. Unfortunately, so you can't fit him into the definition of a terrorist. But the fact remains that he's got a stone in his hand, which unfortunately the law and the international community does not accept stone as a weapon. So he's found a very convenient way of dealing with you. So what I'm saying is he's not really a terrorist, but he's definitely a person who's supporting terrorism and therefore should come in some category of a terrorist.
कुल गैर बदल के मेजर गोगोई के बारे में एक सवाल पूछ लेती हूँ. In hindsight, do you think the commendation cart was not such a good idea?
Absolutely, it was a good idea. What wrong had he done? If somebody can give me a solution to the situation that he was in, I would give him a better award. If somebody can give me a solution under him and 2 minutes time to think. So, at hindsight, everybody can come out with solutions. But at that moment, that solution that he found, I think, was in his wisdom the best solution. In my wisdom, maybe I would have shot my way through. Probably knocked off 1 or 2 people. Would that have been good? I don't know.
और उसके बाद जो हुआ?
उसके बाद जो हुआ, see, he's done a mistake, but what has happened is, we have been getting a lot of information through women sources. Sometimes what happens, we get trapped. I think he became emboldened and he stepped into a thing where he was getting honey trapped. It is just lucky that he got saved from being honey trapped.
You're saying that Major Gogoi was not there out of his free will, he got honey trapped? That's your view?
ऐसा है, he knew.
क्योंकि फौज ने तो उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई तो शुरू कर दी और wrongdoing भी पाई गई है.
Wrongdoing है उसमें. Wrongdoing ये है कि when he is doing this action, he should have informed somebody.
Honey trapping क्या बहुत बड़ी वरी है in the age of social media for the defense forces?
It can happen. It can happen, and it has been happening. Some of our people have got honey trapped. How to use women as sources? It's a very, very delicate situation. You have to deal with them very, very carefully. And I think that is where possibly Gogoi committed a mistake, is that he thought, he possibly became overconfident, saying that I can deal with them at my level.
आप कह रहे हैं women make very good sources. मैं कहूँगी women will make very good soldiers as well. But फौज अपना दिल ही नहीं खोल रही महिलाओं के लिए.
I think what a misnomer. You know, every time I've said
military police doesn't count.
नहीं, ऑफिसर की पहले बात कर रहा हूँ.
Combat roles में बताइए.
Combat role में ऐसा है, there are women officers in engineers, there are women officers in army air defense. नहीं, non-combat नहीं. They are doing demining, they are doing mining operations, they are doing bridging. Engineers का task ये होता है. They are doing bridging. In air defense, they are manning things. They are manning our weapon systems, but they remain the depth. We have not put women yet in frontline combat. अभी आपको बताता हूँ. Today, where is the frontline combat? Today, the frontline combat where the army is involved is proxy war. उस ऑपरेशन में जाके you have to deal with the terrorists. अब जब आप टेरर से डील करते हैं तो फायर फाइट होता है, कमांडिंग ऑफिसर भी मर जाते हैं, कंपनी कमांडर भी मर जाते हैं. सो लेडी ऑफिसर कैन ऑल्सो डाई और बिकम अ कैजुअलिटी, बट शी कैन ऑल्सो डाई.
बट वो तो रिस्क सबको पता है ना.
हाँ, अब मैं बताता हूँ.
वॉलंटियर करके जा रही हैं.
नहीं, वही मैं कह रहा हूँ, अब वो जा रही हैं. अभी भी हमारे यहाँ ना दैट एक्सेप्टेंस, हमारा जवान अभी भी गाँव से आता है. That acceptance will take time. Let me tell you one thing. Now I'll tell you. हम लोग ना what has happened is we have started copying Western analogy. I'll give you an example. I also did a course in the US. हमारे पास 4 लेडीज थी और हम 10 मेल ऑफिसर्स थे सिंडिकेट में. वहाँ पे क्या होता है कि आफ्टर एवरी 3-4 hours you get 1 hour break in which you are supposed to either have your lunch or you can go to the gym. Now when we go to the gym, we all change into gym clothes in the classroom. All of us.
लॉजिस्टिक्स की बात है सर.
मैं all of us बोल रहा हूँ. All of us. हमारे यहाँ आप इस सिस्टम में आने को तैयार हैं तो आ जाइए. अब ऐसा है, अब इस पे क्या होगा, माहौल होगा. अब जब लेडी यहाँ रहेगी, हमारे यहाँ ऑर्डर्स क्या है, जब लेडी का, अब लेडी का क्या है, छोटा सा उसको एक हट मिलेगा इन द सीओबी. फिर हमारे यहाँ ऑर्डर है कि उसके तरफ शीट लगानी पड़ेगी बिकॉज शी हैज टू बी ककून्ड सेपरेटली बिकॉज समबडी विल से, शी विल से आई थिंक समबडी इज पीपिंग, समबडी इज डूइंग दिस, सो वील हैव टू गिव अ शीट अराउंड दैट.
सर ये तो शायद assumptions हैं.
नहीं, अगर आप सोचते हैं नहीं होगा, यहाँ तो बोल रहे हैं. मेरे को तो लेडी दिल्ली में बोलती हैं कि सर पीपिंग टॉम्स कम एंड ऑल हैपेंस. यहाँ भी बोलते हैं. मैं तो वहां बोल रहा हूँ जो आइसोलेशन में अकेली है और चारों तरफ 100 जवान है. You know, I mean.
So you're saying the army is
no,
not
I am ready.
to accept women combat officers in their ranks.
ऐसा है. It is not that the army is not ready. Now I'll tell you. Now you know. Actually, you are getting into something which you now answer. Will she command?
Why not?
Okay. I made a commanding officer. Commanding officer is commanding an RR battalion. This time there's a lady officer in command. Okay. Can a lady officer be away from that command responsibility for 6 months?
No.
Then what happens? Do I now put a restriction on her to say that in that command tenure, you will not be given maternity leave? What do I do? Can I put the diktat? आप हल्ला शुरू हो जाएगा.
The combat role for women is a distinct
No,
thing as
I am
far
not
as I'm
saying. It is as of now. It is there. I am just saying frontline combat where you get isolated, where there's a larger male population with you, and where contact with the adversary takes place. You know what happened to Major Kalia? पेट्रोल आप जाओगे. Even now today, you will go across the border. You'll have to, as I said, bat action होंगे. आप bat action करोगे, you can get caught. Then we should not say कि then the country should not get हवा कि यार वो तो लेडी पकड़ी गई, लेडी को पाकिस्तान ने पकड़ लिया, उसको तो हर मुझसे लेके आओ. क्यों? बेल भी तो पकड़ा जाता है, लेडी पकड़ी गई. Why should we get worried? I hope the माहौल in the country will not be different when a lady is caught by the Pakistanis who, if some group of soldiers have gone across vis-a-vis a male. I hope the country will do the same thing.
Last question. I know I've overshot my time because it's always good to speak to you. We stand at a unique point in history where a male-dominated force, the defense forces, are being led by a woman defense minister. What is it like for you to be reporting to her?
Nothing at all. Only thing is, we used to frequently refer to as ma'am because we got that habit of, every lady we refer to as ma'am. And I think she was quite strong and curt in saying, you will refer to me as Raksha Mantri, which I think was a good sign because she says, don't look at me as a woman, because when we say ma'am, we think she's a woman. I think she's come as strong as any male counterpart. As an army chief, I can say, I have had no problem with her.
General, thank you so much for your time and thank you for speaking to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you indeed.